Hey, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to Upkick MMA episode 379. I am Brendan. UFC Fight Night, Tuivasa versus Tybura. Boy, this one, there were a lot of good fights on here. There were a lot of fun fights to watch, and there were some interesting moments, some stinkers. Let's get into it. If you like this kind of stuff, subscribe to the channel. That way you know the next video is coming out. I break down fights. We'll go over all of them round by round, talk about every fight that happens in the UFC. All right, let's get started, shall we? Okay, looking at the main fight here, adjusting on the fly. You like that? I don't like that. Okay. This fight had the makings, Tuivasa taking on Marcin Tybura. This one had the makings of like a banger, right? If Tybura wanted to stand and trade even a little bit. You know, Tybura looking to clinch up, and Tuivasa splits him open with some elbows. And you're like, all right, yeah, it's going to go down. We're going to have some fun. It's going to be a banger. And he starts punishing him with some hooks. And you're like, okay. But then Tybura, he lands a nice right hand, works in for the takedown, gets a takedown, works his way to the rear naked choke, and it's over. So, great win for Tybura. This puts Tuivasa on a 4-fight skid, losing to Gane, Pavlovich, Volkov, and Tybura now, right? Those three, there's no slouches there. Gane, Pavlovich, and Volkov, excellent fighters, all in the top 10. With Pavlovich, it was knocking on a title shot. Gane obviously having multiple title shots, and then Volkov getting his way back into that title picture, title contention area. So, these 4 straight losses, are they bad losses? No. Are they 4 finishes? Yes. The last 2 are subs. He obviously needs to work on his grappling, and Tybura just keeps hanging in there. He's been in there since 2016. He's been, what he did, 5 fights in a row he won, and then it ends up losing to Volkov himself. Other than that, he's been fantastic. He's lost to Aspinall, Volkov. Good grief. Derek Lewis back in the day after, beating him for 3 rounds. So, it's just he's a perennial contender. He's always in there. Not a perennial contender, sorry. Perennial heavyweight, always in that top 15 area, looking to get. I think his title aspirations, I mean, whether he's outspoken about it or not, are probably done. But he can definitely make a career, and has made a career, being in the UFC, being a heavyweight. All right, Bryan Battle taking on Ange Loosa. This fight was fun in the first round. You got to see some great stuff from Bryan Battle. And then in the second round, we unfortunately get an eye poke that causes a no contest. Now, we'll talk about that when we get to it. Let's break down what we did see, right? Loosa looking for that right hand in the first round, looking to hit. He's looking to take his head off with every shot. Battle's pressing forward, slipping those big shots, landing a right hand and some knees, even avoiding the takedown. He looked freaking amazing. Loosa getting kind of bullied early, pressed against the fence. He's finally able to get some space with like half the round left. Battle's managing range really well, staying on the outside of the things coming back at him. But Battle didn't really land anything huge in this round. So like I don't think he rocked him necessarily, but he just looked great, right? Looking at the striking numbers, it doesn't show it. 23-17. It looks pretty close, but it was not. There was no point in this first round where you thought it was close. He was beating the crap out of him. Second round, Loosa using the jab and finding some success with the low kicks, but Battle's still landing in there. The second round, this was going back and forth. It was 6-4 in favor of Ange Loosa, but Loosa rushes in and gets poked with a thumb. Loosa's grunting and groaning over there, looking like a guy who didn't want to be in there anymore. It's subjective, but that's what it looked like. The ref waves it off. I don't know why they didn't wait 5 minutes. What's the point of having that 5-minute rule, 5-minute stipulation in there where you get 5 minutes to recover? For those of you guys who don't know, if you get poked in the eye, hitting the nuts, or hitting behind the head, you get 5 minutes to recover, or knee to the head of a grounded opponent. You get 5 minutes to recover, and then after that 5 minutes, you have to make a decision, right? Well, with the eye poke one, the whole thing is like, you get 5 minutes. Just give it 5 minutes. Wait. Make him sit there and wait the whole 5 minutes. Like, because he says, I can't see. Now, if you can't see, you shouldn't go into fight. I don't have a problem with that. But just because you can't see right now doesn't mean you're not going to be able to see in 4.5 minutes, which is what they should have done. Just waited. Anyway, it gets called a no contest. Battle calls him a pussy, and then Loosa says, "I'll kill you," and gets all fired up. Now, a lot of prophetic things happened on both this and the prelims for me. I'm writing this down as he does this. I'm like, dude, you had your chance in there to fuck him up. All you had to do is say, "I'm fine," and you could have gone back in there. And this whole thing, like, "I'll kill you, I'll kill you," dude, you had your chance. Shut up. I don't think that you have to fight. I don't. If you get fouled, I am fully in the camp of anyone who says, "I don't want to continue." Totally understand. A low blow, like a shot behind the head, eye poke, any of those things. But if you have the energy afterwards and you say things like, "I'll kill you," that puts me in the camp of the Jorge Masvidal corner and the Jorge Masvidal team after he lost to Colby Covington. It's the same type of thing, right? You just had 25 minutes. You had your opportunity for 25 minutes, and you didn't do anything with it. You landed one good punch. Loosa, on the other hand, all he had to do was say, "I'm fine," or "Give me 5 minutes and I'll recover." And your adrenaline's going. I'm not criticizing him for not wanting to fight anymore. That's actually not my criticism. My criticism is afterwards. You say, "I'll kill you." Okay, clearly you want to go fight. Now, as I'm saying this, Battle comes in and Bisping comes in and Battle's talking to Bisping post fight, and he tells him, he's like, "He looked at me like he wanted to fight me now, but he didn't want to 2 minutes ago. So where the fuck you at?" Like he said that to him. So the exact same thing that I was thinking, and I said he said to Bisping, and then even afterwards, when the cameras looked like they were off or they were moving away, Bisping comes back up and talks to Battle, and I know he said something to that effect. It's like, yeah, he was just in there, he wanted to fight. Clearly, he didn't want to be in there anymore. And then he looks over at the camera and goes like, does one of these numbers and puts his hand in there, and he laughs and walks away. Good little honesty there. Listen, this whole thing where you got to go in there blood and guts and you got to die, be willing to die every time. I think I've made some comments on that in the past. I think that's ridiculous. I'm not saying you can't have that attitude. You absolutely can. We applaud you for it, and we all love it. You know you do. You love that attitude. You love to see it from your fighters. But it's a job. It's a job. I mean, there's some fighters that once they, when the times get tough, they're just like, "Okay, we're done. I'm not taking any more damage in this fight. I'm going to extend my career because I know I'm not going to beat him. I'll beat someone else." There's plenty of fighters that do that. And if your aspirations are not to become champion, or if they are to become champion, it's to, manipulate the system or work the system in a way where you can find your path through easier opponents, that's fine. And I actually don't have a problem with it. I wish some more fighters would come out and say this, because I think it would normalize this understanding that not everyone wants to go in there and lose vision in their right eye. Not everyone wants to go in there and not be able to walk anymore because you fucked up your leg so bad. Not everyone wants to go in there and get like a punctured lung or esophagus or some shit. You know what I mean? Not everybody wants to do that. Not everybody wants to get fucked up teeth. Some people are just, they're good at fighting. This is a career. It's a way for them to make some money. That's what it is. But if afterwards you have an attitude and you say you're going to kill somebody, motherfucker, you just had your chance and you gave it up. You said, "No, I don't want to kill you." I'd rather not do that anymore. So, being ready to fight after the fight means jack shit to me. I hope this doesn't stain anything. And by the way, Battle looked goddamn fantastic. This is the best he's looked. Just looked like a different fighter out there. All right, Kennedy is oh my goodness, I'm gonna mess it up. Ovince Preux versus Kennedy Nzechukwu. I'm gonna call him Kennedy. I screw this up every time. I can say it 1,000 times, and then I go to say it as I'm reading it, because when I hear it, I can say it. Nzechukwu. Like, I can say that, but I can't look at it and then try to read it. It's that NZ. It throws my dumb American brain for a loop. Before the fight started, I was writing down, there's no way that OSP wins this. It's a setup for Kennedy. This is clearly what they wanted. This is what the UFC put him in there for. He did not put in OSP because they think OSP is going to make a run for a title. They put in OSP because, like, well, Kennedy's coming off of that loss. We need to give him somebody with a known name that he can beat relatively easy and outpoint him. It's the whatever. OSP going with the body kicks and the low kicks. Kennedy is poking well with the kicks up the middle and the right hand. OSP switches to orthodox using the jab well, back and forth. Neither guy asserting themselves. I feel like Kennedy landed more with the jab. And if the damage is equal, you can you got to give it to Kennedy for the forward pressure. Looking at the striking numbers here, 26-22 in favor of OSP. So OSP did outland him. I do feel like a lot of that stuff was to the legs, though. It sure was. 9 leg kicks for OSP. Not that they don't matter, but Kennedy did land some good shots up top. So I gave Kennedy this first round. Second round, Kennedy using that jab in the middle of the exchanges, and it gives him the appearance of offense more than anything for the judges, even if they don't land. Which they were landing, but when they're not landing, it still gives him like like I said, the appearance of the thrown out offense. OSP does find the mark with those low kicks and straights to the body. If either guy landed a couple big shots, they would win this round for sure. I can tell you watching this that Kennedy can he can't challenge the upper tier of the heavyweight, the light heavyweights. So God dang it. I wrote down a clean, coherent thought, and I'm not reading it properly. I can tell you watching this that if Kennedy can challenge the upper tier of the light heavyweights, the division is in bad shape. Meaning, if OSP got the win here and then went on to challenge someone in the top 10 or top 5 and win up there, then this division is absolute trash. Because watching this fight, he does not belong in the top 5 of any division. OSP lands a big left hand. I feel like Kennedy landed more again, but the pressure waned as the round went on, and OSP landed some big shots. OSP apparently outlanded him 44-29. Like I said, Kennedy gives the appearance of throwing out a lot of offense. It tricked me too. But I gave this round to OSP regardless, so I had 19-19. Last round, OSP lands an uppercut, and Kennedy goes down for a second. OSP finding the mark as he walks forward, moving the head to avoid the big shots coming back. Kennedy is still using that jab. Classic fight for him. Get rocked. Just wait till the other guy blows his wad and then fight back. OSP is super tired, not looking good, but OSP did way more in this last round. He dropped him, and I don't want to hear it any other way, right? You can look at some of the strikes that Kennedy threw down the stretch, and he landed some good ones. Got outstruck, though, 73-55. Kennedy just is not ready for the upper echelon in this division. He's just not. And if you throw him in there, you're basically just taking away the value of your division. You're just saying like, oh, OSP deserves to be up there just as much, if not more. Genichiro Kamijo has the first and the last round for OSP. Thank God. Adelaide Bird. Oh my God. These scorecards. The only unanimous round was the first round, which is the one that I gave to Kennedy, of course. So all 3 judges had the first round for OSP. Second round, Bird had it. The other two judges did not. And then Bird had the third round for Kennedy, as did Clearly, but Kamijo had it OSP. Yeah, this is Derek Clearly is fucking horrendous. Genichiro Kamijo, he's all over the place. I don't think this is a bad scorecard. That first round was relatively close. I don't think that second round is close. His scorecard could have been a 30-27. And then Adelaide Bird, I don't know what the fuck she was watching. Same thing as Clearly. Yeah, I don't know. Those are bad scorecards, guys. God, dunces everywhere. Moving on. All right, Isaac Dulgarian versus Christian Rodriguez. This one went back and forth. It was kind of a. This was there was a lot of split decisions. There's some weird fouls and shit. People missed weight. This was a sloppy card. You can tell this is a weekend after a big card because nobody really cares. Nobody's really paying attention to this stuff. Dulgarian goes low kick to take down. Holy crap. Just using that front headlock to go for the Peruvian necktie over and over again. Dulgarian is smooth with control to the back, to the mount, to the side. Just like his takedowns are so much fun to watch. Beautiful, beautiful wrestling round for Dulgarian. Not a lot of damage. Only 9 significant strikes landed in here. You can't give him there's no 10-8 here for me. Like, yes, he landed 36 total strikes. I just didn't feel he did enough damage. Like, I get it. If you gave this a 10-8, maybe. Actually, okay. If you gave this a 10-8, I could understand it. But I didn't see it. Second round. Rodriquez looks for the right hand and the knee as Dulgarian fights for the takedown. Rodriquez is doing a better job staying on the feet this round, but still being taken down. Rodriquez lands an uppercut and a right hand. Dulgarian still presses forward. Looking at the striking numbers here, it went in favor of Rodriquez, so you definitely can't give this one a 10-8. I gave this one a 10-9 in favor of Dulgarian. I had him up 20-18. Last round, Dulgarian not able to get the takedowns now, and Rodriquez is landing the jab a lot. Holy shit, Dulgarian has nothing left in the tank. Rodriquez is on his back, laying out ground and pound. I feel like all he had to do was walk away from him when he was huddled over on the ground and just kick him repeatedly in the side like he did that one time. He could have ended this fight. Rodriquez was not able to get the finish, and Dulgarian can't fight for 5 rounds with this kind of pace. Like, he just can't do this. I got outstruck here 35-5 in this last round. Clearly a 10-8 round for Rodriquez. Nearly finished him multiple times. I had a 28-28. This is what's interesting. So let's look at the scorecards here. 10-8s being thrown around all over the place. Okay, 10-8 in that first round for Dulgarian from all 3 judges. I told you, I understand it. I just didn't do it live. Second round here, Rodriquez gets the nod on Ron McCarthy and Saul D'Amato's card. All right. I mean, if you're going off of pure damage, that's probably correct. And then the last round, everybody gave a 10-8, which is good. Otherwise, we would have had a draw. No, he wouldn't have. He still would have won. No, it would have been a draw. Wow. Incredible. A back and forth 10-8s. You don't see that very often. All right, Macy, Chiasson versus Pannie, Kianzad. Kianzad, Chiasson? Oh, crap. Kianzad using the lead hook as she tracks her down. Chiasson using the stiff jab and the knee in the clinch. Chiasson using the body lock to get to the ground, exchanges in the grappling, keeps herself in better positions. Every time they would move, she would just stay with her head higher, her hips higher, keeping the weight on her, getting better position. Even though she would get reversed, she would immediately find her way to the top again. Chiasson gets the back and gets a rear naked choke finish. A lot of those tonight, too, by the way. I know I'm not bringing up the stats. You don't need to see them. It was a first round finish. Not a lot to go on there. Don't at me. Bryan Barberena versus Gerald Meerschaert. Classic Bryan Barberena, classic Gerald Meerschaert. I mean, like, if you told me this is how this fight was going to go, I'd be like, yeah, that makes sense. Not much landed for the first minute as Meerschaert follows him around the octagon. Meerschaert gets a takedown, not able to hold on to it or do much with it. Barberena lands a nice 1-2 and appears to shove Meerschaert. I don't think it was a knockdown. If it was a knockdown, I could give him this round, but it was not. Meerschaert gets a takedown again, goes for the Kimura and the guillotine, just nothing doing. I wish Meerschaert did more damage. In these exchanges, I wish he did more damage when he was in control because, in my opinion, I think Barberena still outdamaged him. He did outland him 10-7. Looking at the scorecards here, just a quick check. Nope, all of them gave it to Meerschaert. I mean, he had the pressure and he had control time. I just didn't feel like he did any damage with it. Like those submission attempts, they were non-submission attempts. They weren't even recorded in the first round. Second round, Meerschaert not wanting to strike with Barberena, not wanting to grapple, but gets a takedown with 3:20 left, works his way to the back and gets a rear naked choke and puts him asleep. Meerschaert actually tied Anderson Silva for middleweight finishes. That's incredible. Obviously, he's not fighting the same caliber of opponent that Anderson Silva did in his prime, but that's incredible. Just the longevity, it just speaks to longevity, right? Being good enough to be in the UFC for that long and getting finishes in the UFC for that long is incredible. It's a great stat. All right, that's it. That's going to be all for this one. I know a lot of people didn't watch this one, so if you guys didn't watch it, I know I'm doing this at the end of the video, so if you've already made it through here, you already heard all my breakdowns. But the OSP fight wasn't horrible to watch. Dulgarian was fun. The Dulgarian Christian Rodriquez fight was fun. Chiasson versus Kianzad was fine. Barberena. Yeah, if you didn't watch this card, I would throw it on the background. The main card. If you didn't watch it, but you want some background noise, it's good, and then you just listen for the excitement that's going on. I recommend that. I wouldn't go out of your way to watch this one. That's for sure. Good content. I thought some of the fights were good. Some of the fighters look good. Nothing on here. Nothing groundbreaking. That's it. Subscribe to the channel if you like this kind of stuff. That way you know the next video's coming out. It helps me out too, and I super appreciate it. Hope you guys have an amazing week. If you like this video, hit the like button. Love you. Peace.